Done.
Oh my God, it's 8 p.m. exactly. What happened?
No one talk.
We will have to wait until Andy gets here. Is that what we have to do?
Why is Wayne eating cardboard?
It's a Rivita.
Yeah, that's cardboard. Is this? Have you been overdoing it on your holiday?
Have I got to wait for that every time I plug in?
I tell you what, by the time that's finished, he's lost the race, hasn't he?
Isn't it?
Do you know what it is?
Do it again.
That's Back to the Future, isn't it?
Is it? That is fucking quality if it is.
Already sworn. Well done.
Did I swear?
Yeah.
Was I right though? Back to
Yeah.
the Future.
That is so good, Jack. Can you do that on all my quads?
Clive wants to know, will it do 88 miles an hour?
Will it
maybe.
disappear if it does 88 miles an hour? Can you plug it in again, please?
No.
I'm never going to fly that. I'm just going to walk around plugging it in. I'm rubbing my knees and everything. I'm so excited about that. That is so cool.
Yeah. That's
my favourite film and everything.
That's what he rubs when he's excited.
I don't know whether to put the power of
down
love.
there, Jack.
Put the power of love on it.
Well, keep it as it is. You can do power of love on the next quad.
The question that needs to be answered is why Jack got yet another one of Tony's quads.
When ain't he?
What?
I've always had that one. It's lived here for quite some time.
What's wrong with it? It didn't play Back to the Future. Was that the issue?
Yeah.
Tony was like, make it do that.
The race flight board packed up, didn't it?
I was like, I got a surprise for you, and he was like, "Oh, does it say Tony gay on the OSD or something?" I thought I was going to be like really mean. I was like, "No."
It's actually been nice, and I haven't even given him his birthday present.
Yeah, I told my mum. Mum thinks it's hilarious that you're withholding that.
You only got to wait 2 months. That's how long I've waited.
Is that
why I waited 1 month?
Is that why you changed it to the Back to the Future theme? Because it was something else the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was. People didn't get that one. So.
That is brilliant. Anyway, the start. We've totally forgot about the start. We're already talking.
We're completely on time, and already this show's quality.
Do you want to do this disclaimer, Curry?
Oh, yes. Any views expressed by any guests on this show are personal and may not reflect the views of hosts or any other participant on the show, especially if we talk about DJI HD system.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Drone Out, and we are still using Hangouts because in typical LDO fashion, we can't get anything right. No offense to Dom Robinson, he is our Lord and Saviour, and I love him very much. But tonight, you are joined by Andrew / Frank.
Hello.
Andy RC.
Yeah. Hi.
What's wrong, Andy RC?
Nothing. It's just how I greet people these days. Lower their expectations and then build them up.
It's such a juxtaposition because he looks jolly because he's drinking with a straw, and then when you say hello, he's like,
Is it a plastic straw?
You're killing
murderer.
Make sure you use it twice.
And everyone's favourite eco warrior, my little Tony, my loving
Bonjour.
wife.
Bonjour.
Everyone's favourite, Daddy's back.
I keep
Hello,
saying to
apparently.
I keep saying that to that Jack on the phone. Are you missing Daddy? Is that the problem? And he's like, who's Daddy? And I'm like, Wayne.
So you're now called Daddy.
Oh,
which is really even more weirder.
It's weirder.
Slightly creepy.
It's weirder because Jack's been showing me some things.
Oh no, hang on! You've been teaching me the ways of the internet.
Oh God, not more egg whisking or whatever it is.
On the same path.
Good, yeah.
And I
Tony,
am bright
do you
until I fly.
Tony, do you want to do some shout outs of people that have joined in the chat?
Yes.
Early enough to meet early start today.
Let's go right up to the top. The first one, I think, was Spider FBV. Hello, mate.
Oh,
Ladders
cool.
is in the chat. Win Davis is in the chat. Who else have we got? Clive is in the chat. We've got Zero FBV. Southwest Kitty, what's up? Tony King. Damien Barnes. Hello. Johnny Banton's in the chat. What's up, JB? Spin Me Good. Whoa, that's a new one. Hello, mate. Batwoman. What's up, Batwoman? I take it your other half's in here. I can't see him. Spider. Ben Sweeney. Drone Racer. RDFBV. Hello. Hello. Ben
Hello.
Jones, hello.
He says
Magic
hello to me.
Pencils in the chat, who was on last week.
And Ladder says we should wish a big happy birthday to Tornado Girl.
Is it Tornado's girl's birthday? Hello, Tornado Girl.
Some point this week.
Hope you're all right. We miss you in the chat. I don't know where you've gone. You changed your name to No Name, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, or Daisy FPV, one of the two.
Team British Knights, that's a new one. What's up? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. For us complete twits talking complete and utter rubbish again. Anyway, what's in the news? I heard there's something going on.
I've got a bit of news for you. On the 22nd of August, which is a Thursday, that week is the week of the 24th, which is Andy RC's birthday. So it's a special Andy RC birthday show. How dare you accuse me of not knowing your birthday?
What I'm even worried about is how the hell did you get that date?
Someone's got to like something. Thank you.
Who told you that date?
Guilty.
Jack, like something, Jack.
Simple. With the best knowledge source. The only thing that is better than Google, DuckDuckGo,
I know.
Ask
It's
Jeeves,
Frank.
and simple. Ask Frank. If you
Ask
don't
Frank,
know,
yeah,
ask Frank. And it's unbelievable what that man can find on the internet.
God.
Did Frank start making a stalker file and cover all the family until he
Well,
was
Frank
able
did
to
work for
retrieve
the Ministry of
information?
Defence. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that.
Mate, you are like the only thing that's better than Google is Frank. It is scary what that man can dig
Is
up.
Frank the reason why I keep getting EE contracts made in my name?
Hello, Mikey Trade, who's just joined us.
It's got my mother's maiden name. I don't like my birthday.
So
Birthdays-
this year we're making an extra special big Andy RC Bonanza birthday.
Oh,
so
wicked.
if you would like to email me at brightontilifly@gmail.com with any birthday cards or
please
anything, and I will forward them on to Andy RC out of my own pocket.
Brilliantly.
Because everyone seems to know where I live. So
I'm going to send something to Andy.
So make sure you send it the week before.
I don't like things.
I'm going to send you a battery with my face on it.
Everybody send him quantity reviews because it doesn't get stressful for him if they build up in the background.
I tell you what, if you could send me the DJI HD system, that would be fantastic.
It's a DJI HD system. What are you talking about, Andy?
Let me tell you something. I had to explain to my wife that we'd have something to talk about because of this new system, and she said, "Well, what happened last week when you weren't there?" And I said, "Mostly it was about Jack's knob." And she said, "That made an hour's podcast." I was like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah, we've always got some.
There's always knob gags.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
that's a testimonial for the website.
Yeah.
There's always knob gags.
Tony, we've always got knob gags. 2019.
How is the old boy? How's she doing?
Not amazing. Getting there. But
Good.
I reckon as soon as it's sorted, we won't hear off him for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I'll be into everything.
Throwing himself around his room, wouldn't he?
Dragging conversation
in the chat. Hello, Mr. Frost.
Just talk over them, Frank. Frank's talking. Everyone enjoy.
Dragging conversation away from that subject. The other reason for having a big celebration on the 22nd of August on episode 208 is it is LDO's 4th birthday.
Wow, 4 years.
Did I tell you that at some point and you've remembered? Well, I never tell people
Maybe.
that. Oh,
Um,
Jesus Christ.
and so,
I hate surprises, you know.
well,
It's not a surprise. He's just told you about it.
And on our 4 years anniversary of Let's Drone Out, we've got a load of goodies that Droner's Life has given us to give away. So we are giving them away for people who send in their favorite moments of Let's Drone Out over the past 4 years, either through timestamps or Reddits or whatever you want to do. Send them to us at letsdroneout@gmail.com. Or through the Facebook page, and we will start looking through them on the 15th of August. So that's your deadline to get all this stuff in. So that is a few weeks, a couple of weeks time now. So send them in to us. We'll have a look through them, then pick out our favorites, and they will get some goodies courtesy of Droner's Life.
And Droner's Life is actually coming on next Thursday. I think the whole gang are on.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, 8th the 8th. That's next Thursday, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, they're coming on, so the gang will be
Man.
on.
It's getting so close to that date, isn't it?
Can our system handle everyone next week?
Well, Hangouts
He
can.
can handle us.
Although Wayne just seems to be a smudge on
I know,
Hangouts
he's
to
very
me.
bad. At
What's
the
going
moment.
on there? Yeah.
He's very
I don't know.
smudgy, isn't he?
That's.
I bet he's uploading a video, isn't he, or
I'm
something?
not actually. No,
Oh.
nothing's going on here. You guys are all coming through okay, but my upload speed isn't as high. But it's like 6 megabits per second, which should be enough for my face, which isn't moving all that much.
No, your
Oh,
face.
your face looks terrible.
It's about like one.
That's just how I look, Tony. Sorry.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it's worse than normal.
Oh, dear.
Everyone was shocked that we have a Discord. By the way,
Really?
so yeah, there is a real life Discord. Links in the chat.
Don't really use it. I don't know.
You're listening to this on playback on iTunes or anything like that. I've put the link to our Discord server on our Patreon, which is Let's Drone Out. Patreon.com/Let's Drone Out. So yeah, it's there. So
Right, who wants to talk about Ant-Man?
Me.
what? My penis.
Well, I know it's small, they act like an ant, but no,
Yeah,
I'm
but
talking
they
about.
grow
I'm talking
very
about
big.
the
I actually
HD
kind of looked.
Ant-Man thing.
I like the look of those goggles, but according to everybody, the light leakage is like wearing a pair of Andy's Fat Shark HDOs by the sound of it. That wasn't.
Or Tony's old boxers.
So what we're talking about here is the new DJI FPV system that they announced yesterday, end of July, and it is a 720p 28 millisecond latency, supposedly down to FPV system, but it's fairly sizable and not very cheap. And
It's about $1,000, which I think, call me a cynic, will translate here as approximately £1,000
No,
when it's
it's
released.
£919 here.
Is it? Has it got the actual price up then?
You can buy it now, but it's sold out within about 3 seconds. So
Why would it sell out? I don't get it. I don't.
Well, I understand
Maybe in
people
America.
wanting to fly in HD because you'll be able to see more stuff. But it's sizable, certainly in terms of the VTX and receiver combo. It's not gonna easily fit into many existing quads, is it?
I mean, I've been saying this now for like 2 years. The next big leap in FPV is going to be HD FPV, and that's what's holding it back. And then it's come out, so it's no surprise to me. Even though it's like this is definitely not the one you should buy, it's no surprise to me that that a bunch of people have gone out and bought it. You know.
Well, it had to be coming, didn't it? But I don't think it's going to be good for us lot in Europe compared to FCC in America and stuff.
Well, according to if you go on DJI's website now and buy it's got all of the same. It's like universal. So I'm not sure where that.
I thought FCC versus Europe is different. Like there's a 4K range, but the CE mode is only 700 meters.
Well,
and they had a couple of less channels, I understood.
Well,
4 channels instead of 8.
Where did that come from? Because it doesn't say that on the website. And
they
also
talked about that in the Rotorite review, I think, because they were talking about the range and they took it out 2.9K or something before they lost it. But they were quite low down, to be fair. And then they said the range in Europe is something like 700 meters or something.
But they also said that it doesn't do analog when it does. So I think like.
But I think it's that it has an analog video input, I believe.
Yeah,
so
but
it's not like it can take. It's not like it can receive normal. It's not like you can put a module in it and you can't use it to receive automatically. It's just like any other screen with an analog input.
From what I understand, what those guys like, what is weird is the people who received units aren't reviewers, they're entertainment channels, and so you couldn't really get much information from it. There was like what resolution are the screens, for example? What are they? What technology are they? Are they OLED? Are they LED? None of that information.
But they didn't even receive a unit. They got invited out and they had a play with it for a short period of time, but they never got to take it away. It's not like it's been given to anyone.
Yeah,
was that not the case with Umagod's review? And because Rotorite are selling it in their store, and
they'll be drop shipping it. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But
all right, well, whichever they're doing, they're sort of carrying it, and that sort of puts them on this like. That's one step beyond like an affiliate, isn't it? It's like I've got a vested interest in it because they mentioned, for example, okay, it's using a 5.8 gigahertz frequency in both control and video, and they said, oh, I wonder what happens when you plug in an analog VTX. It's not like they haven't got 50 hanging up behind them. Yet nobody plugged it in to show us what would happen, did they?
No, they didn't.
Well, I'll tell you what will happen, because it happens when you fly a DJI model with OcuSync. You get a load of lines in your analog, and you can just about fly one analog FPV model, but it's that powerful that you'd struggle to fly analog at the same time as it. But I don't think I can. I think it's a great thing. I wouldn't buy this version of it. And to make things even more interesting, it sort of made people show their deck of cards, because Fat Shark have announced, we've got this competing one that actually will plug into your goggles, and it's more we've been
I think
working
that's the thing. I think that's the DJI version, I don't think is really aimed at us as existing FPVs, because I mean, if you look at it, it's also got this radio system built into it to do control, with a very standard DJI kind of Phantom type controller, and that's all built into it. It's a fairly big system. I don't think it's aimed at racers or freestylers or hobbyists, and I think that's probably why it hasn't gone out to reviewers, and why it has gone to entertainment channels where they've got professional video editing, all that kind of thing, where it's heavily produced, because that's what they're selling it for. They're not selling it for us to use as a hobbyist. They're selling it for cinematography and videographers who've seen the CineWhoop stuff and want something to do that. And DJI are going like, well, that's a market that our current user base are looking to get into. Let's sell them something that will help them stay within our kind of ecosystem.
Yeah, I wouldn't half be surprised if they come out with their own quadcopter as well.
I'm gonna like this because Zoe FPV's in the chat, and I just want to like one for her because I like her. This is a free one for you, Zoe FPV. She's in the chat. She's talking away to people.
She's in
Right,
her.
so let me ask a follow-up question there. What do people know, or what can people say if they know anything about the Fat Shark system that is coming?
That's for Zoe.
I know people know stuff about it, but I also know that they haven't been able to talk about it for a long time. There's been word about an HD system being developed in the background by a secret cabal of FPV companies for quite a long while. And it looks like they hadn't been planning to release this at this point, because there's pretty much, as far as I can tell, just the one Facebook post put out by Fat Shark about the Bite Frost HD system.
That's it.
What a great name.
Which is pretty much, hey, don't all jump off and buy that yet. There's something coming from us that's going to be more modular and more useful, I suppose.
Yeah, but if you look at the picture that is there, it's something, it's a board that isn't even soldered up to anything. They've just kind of roughly mounted it onto a quad. And I suspect that was kind of a quick panic, get something out.
You could argue that's what the DJI thing was, though, as well, because there's, nothing.
Does it appeal to
good.
anyone here? Because it doesn't me.
Oh, yeah.
It
Of course
appeals.
it does.
Flying an HD appeals, but I'm not, spending 900 quid on it.
I want to use it as a pair of you're gonna have to beep this fuck sharks, where you stick it on the person you're having sex with and then film them in HD getting.
I know someone who's already.
I was going to say that's Rich, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rich has already had sex in FPV. What? That's so weird. Imagine being his neighbour and being able to just tune in with.
Oh yeah, that's a point.
Someone
Can you
gonna tune
imagine,
in.
like someone in the street has got like a 5.8 repeater, and then 1 minute they're watching Songs of Praise, and then the next they're like, "Oh no!"
I think you might have to ask for permission for somebody else to view. I don't think it's just like, yeah, look at. Trust you to think of that, Jack. You could do that now, anyways, with 5.8. There's a chap up the road that's illegally broadcasting Sky on 5.8. Fat Shark 1, funnily enough, I can't use around here, unless I want to watch some Sky, and then I'll,
What
tune
kind
into
of
it.
Sky is he broadcasting?
Sky Sports. I think it's just relaying it using a 5.8 repeater or something, but it's strong enough to. I can see where the house is, because obviously the signal gets stronger as I get closer to it.
Really, Andy, who around your sort of area would use a really powerful video
that's
transmitter?
the licensing truck what don't exist, and drive around and go, hey, there he is over there.
Yeah, that's how I actually found it. Because I had a quad years ago, flyaway, a Spectrum transmitter, funnily enough.
There you go.
And I was driving around to try and find it, and I got to this street, and Fat Shark 1, perfectly clear Sky Sports picture, and I was like, oh, that's why I keep getting interference. Sometimes.
Where were we before? We've been out before and tuned into someone on Sky TV.
Did you ever figure your quad had just taken the day off and was watching some TV, perhaps? And it wasn't just Sky Sports.
No.
My local shopping centre broadcasts its security channels on 5.8. I can pick up 2 of them. I had the same thing. I was looking for a quad. I was about 200, 300 meters away from where it was, just going and trying to pick up a tiny whoop, and suddenly I'm seeing this car driving down, and it's like, what's going on there? Very odd.
Yeah, the field up in St Albans where I used to fly, there was all the CCTV around there was all on 5.8 as well, and sort of sometimes you're like, no, that shouldn't be broadcast. That's not meant to be broadcast.
This could be a problem for this system. In fact, I think that was raised that you're not to fly near any Wi-Fi, and it's like, well, that
there's no Wi-Fi around places and towns and things.
Yeah, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. The bus drive past, it's got Wi-Fi.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah, so that could
It
be
says we've only got
something.
22 people in the chat. Is that wrong on my phone? We've normally got more than that.
No, let me have a look. 62 tone.
My phone's saying 22. But anyway, I'm getting the feed out. Mikey Dredd says it's taken me a year to upgrade to the HDOs. I am not changing. Oh, it went up really very fast. I'm not changing for at least 2 years.
Well, I tell you now,
I'm not going to change.
I tell you now, if it hadn't have sold out, I'd have stupidly bought one. It would have been a stupid move. Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was just about to
For your
say,
channel or because you just really want it, or
Because I really want it. Yeah. I mean, if you watch, go and watch Kebab's video where he is a reviewer, but he skipped over a lot of the details. But one thing that he did do was a range test, and this is something that I know about DJI. Is just because I've got a friend who just does crazy things with his DJI model, and it goes completely out at, like, your signal can be completely blocked, and he's got a perfect picture with no breakup, and I'm like, DJI have got something special going on there with their the penetration of objects. And if you look at Kebab's video, he goes way below himself. He's like way out of line of sight, and he's got a perfect picture. And for me, and like, I think that would be the appeal, because it's kind of strange as well. If you look at the website, they're aiming it at racers and not freestyle. And
because you don't, when you're flying, if your camera's recording in 1080p and you're flying in 720p, you're still going to have the props inside, aren't you? So if racers do it, they're going to see a good picture and be able to come home with a good race footage.
yeah, but I think
you're going to have the props in shot, and no one wants that.
I think that because they're boasting 28 milliseconds, but that's not that great for modern day, latency.
Did we have 27 on ppm?
PPM's 22, yeah, and yeah, but we're down to like 7 now, in entire loop sort of thing. So 28, and it's 28 to 60. It varies because as you get further away from yourself, and this is something that OcuSync has done for a while, is it starts off at like 720p, and then you get 200 meters away, and all of a sudden it looks like, well, what Wayne looks like now. It's a bit, which is a bit of a blurry blob.
At least it pixelates, so you kind of know where it won't just freeze and go, that's it, you're done.
Very clever. It does it at the sides so that you still get clear picture in the middle. So yeah, even though it's £1,000, but it's sold out by the time I even knew about it. Even I was like,
even make me have an erection at all.
I thought I've got a chance here, because they're selling a Mode 1 version and no one's going to buy that. And even that,
even that was gone.
Even that's sold out. So,
oh, Andy, I think you're jumping on. I think in a wing it might be great.
Well, let me ask this, because that was too much money for me. So I wanted to know what price it would need to be for sort of everybody to get it. For me, it's sort of
you're talking
a couple of £100 before it gets into sort of the mass market, it seems to me.
Well, you're talking maybe 3 years until it's £500. I mean, and that would be the first version. You see this is what happens with DJI. So I bought the Phantom 4 Pro for £1,700, and when they discontinued it, I can't sell it for £400, and it's taken 2 years to get to that, because what happens is, and the next version comes out, it's like the Spark now. The Spark was like £600 with a controller, but now you can pick them up for 198 quid, but it's taken 2 years for it to do that. So what you would be doing in 2 years' time is probably for about 400 quid is be picking up the first generation, because the second generation has come out and that's now 1,000 quid. And that's
or would we get other implementations of HD systems for cheaper? I mean,
well,
are we going to get the eSheen HD system?
Well,
or something crazy, which
fly
will be
that?
have a really bad manual. Probably not, but I might get one into review. There's more chance.
I've always said if anybody could do it, it'd be DJI. You can look back at the
Well, they've got
show.
enough money to do it, haven't they? I mean, DJI got
They've
me
got-
into the hobby, but I still think it might put me out of the hobby because I'm worried that all this you might have to sign in and all that bollocks, and they know where you are and all that stuff still.
Well, just
The Illuminati will clone your DNA,
you know
and the
what
lizard
it's like.
peoples will.
Sign in on any bloody Phantom or anything like that. They know where you are, what you're doing, and your flight.
Says the guy who's got an Alexa that listens to every word he says.
Yeah, but I just walk around my house saying random things like "bomb, kill the Queen" and things like that.
Well, just do that with your goggles then, Tone, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I left a special treat on Tony's alarm system. So I visited him late at night and then kicked his door.
I was in bed and I woke up to, well, it did beep and woke me, kind of disturbed me. And I was like, that's probably Jack. I'll look at it tomorrow. And then I looked at it in the morning and it was just Jack walking up my path with his arse out saying, "Hi, Tony," and slapping it. So, yeah, thanks for that.
I think you're right.
Available to patrons only.
I think you're right on the price thing, though. I mean, when I look at, I did build a cheap quadcopter, and it was 100 quid all in, and people were saying, "I thought this was meant to be build a cheap quadcopter," and I'm like, yeah, 100 quid is cheap. 100 quid is cheap. So if they're not willing to build a 100 quid quadcopter, then I don't think they're willing to.
Yeah, well, you know what us lot droners are like.
I'd be really interested to see how many units they actually had. It can't be many for them to all sell out like that, or maybe there is just that interest. Either way, I think it's good because we had the hype.
Well, it will push the tech a bit.
Yeah, but it'll also regain people's interest, which is what we need.
I think I'd rather have it in a wing than a quad.
Hmm.
Well, I think eventually, I mean, no one can beat.
Talk to people who already fly, like with the goggles and the light leakage and that. Why do they not go right? Let's talk to some FPVers, see what they like.
Well, those
Johnny's been on the advert and stuff, but
those videos as well, it's like 2 months old, and like that they've already come up with different like the problem with goggles. I mean, we experience this even now is, some people get light leak and others don't because of the shape of their face. The DJI will be releasing accessories for different shaped foam pieces for light leak and stuff. So it's little details like that haven't made it to the mainstream, and it's like, yeah. But yeah, you'd be an early adopter. I would say wait for the V2 and then buy the V1 is probably the best way.
You got to fit it in one of your drones as well because it's quite a big unit.
Yeah, nobody ever
because it's it apparently gets quite hot. So
nobody ever talked about nobody talked about weight, did they?
No.
But if you think it's getting rid of the FPV camera as well, and I can see a lot of
can you mount it to get rid of so it records nice footage and not your props in shot?
Well,
you just need the right sort of model, don't you? Like Oh my god, printed out some sort of H-style 4-inch quad to get his props out of shot, so it moved the camera forward and the props back a bit.
Yeah, and
Then you got a more expensive camera if you crash forward than.
Yeah, although the camera's about 50 quid, so it's not outrageous to
It's
replace.
not too
on
much.
its own.
That's the one good thing about it is the most expensive parts. The goggles are. Did they say they were $500 or is it three?
Yeah, something like 540 or something like that.
And then the controller
radio
is
was $300.
$300.
Yeah.
So actually, the camera record is $100. And the camera's $50, $59. So you're talking $159, just for the bit that's in the air. So everything else, all you'd have to do is replace that, which isn't so bad when you think it's actually cheaper than a GoPro, isn't it?
I'm going to send Zoe the link and see if she wants to come on. I don't know what her internet is like. See if she wants to chat as well. Ignore me for a minute.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good deal, I think, Andy, if it would just, go into your existing kit with something. But of course, they've gone down the normal DJI route about like buy all of our stuff and have it all. And again, I think Frank mentioned it, or you did. I wouldn't be surprised if DJI started selling some sort of pre-made. I say racer style. It's more of a big sort of cine quad style.
Right, it doesn't even fit into a frame properly. Like the dimensions of your normal like freestyle or race.
I reckon they've been developing this for a long while, since the DJI racing goggles, all that stuff, and they've spent so much on it. They're like, we've spent so much on the R&D. We need to make some money back. Whatever you got, doesn't matter. Release it. Just get something out there. Start getting some money back. Start recouping some costs, and they'll continue developing it. And they'll make a quad around this. And like you say, in a year's time, there'll be a 5-inch Cine Whoop thing with this on it for videographers to get the sort of footage that the people have been doing with quads for the past.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm glad that it's going to happen because it's
interesting that it interfaces with Betaflight. That was a surprise. If you can hook up to a UART and have your normal OSD PIDs and your voltage and everything, and I was like, that's strange that they've allowed that.
That is interesting because as soon as we start talking about they'll bring out their own quad, I figured it was going to be a DJI specific thing, and it will probably have the same sort of GPS functions but allow you to acro fly. It's kind of Betaflight light though, like it interfaces and talks to it, gets to PIDs and stuff, but it's not like you're getting the Betaflight OSD. You're just getting some information that they're decided to put on the screen.
Well, what I saw was the exact layout of Betaflight's on-screen display when they went into it. You got
I didn't see that. I have to say there wasn't that much they showed in terms of the on-screen stuff. That much was a bit annoying. But when I saw them doing it on Rotor, they were going through the menus and they were sort of showing, here are the PIDs, and it was just kind of a list of the PIDs that you could change, but it was being overlaid in their own sort of DJI thing instead of having the standard OSD display.
About is DJI have collaborated with the government and gonna say, because we're gonna have speed limits, we're gonna have distance limits and things like that. I'm wondering if they've already talked to our government and said, look, we can do this for all your FPV racers. And
I think there's there's the point of releasing legislation like that is you set up the goals for all the the market to then generate stuff that meets those requirements. Yeah, absolutely. I reckon July next year we will see a C0 rated or whatever it was quad from DJI that does this FPV stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be released.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm going to knock everyone else out because you're all going to be illegal. But if you choose us, you're not.
But DJI, to be fair to them, have defended every kind of thing like that, haven't they? They defend even the BBC documentary, you know, and so
Well, it's because they were flying one of their quads into a,
I think they're more on our side than I think they more want to work.
But they may be just a bit. I don't know.
I think if they'd had that much influence on the new regulations that are coming out next year or going to be enforced,
They have, because they've got a lot of money.
But if they had that much detailed influence on exactly what those requirements were going to be, they'd have made it so that it, instead of being 250 grams and there being like the 900 gram thing is only going to be it's only 500 grams, or they've made it so that it actually fits the quads that they've got already, I'd have thought, rather than saying it's just a bit below and just doesn't include the current DJI stuff.
It also could be like with this legislation coming in, they might, obviously where a lot of their money is at the moment is in these consumer drones that fly themselves. But as we get more legislation, they might think, oh man, actually our sort of main business is being attacked, and but these FPVs actually might have a loophole because they're part of communities that can act as operators and things, and so maybe we can start generating a bit of cash from them if there could be that angle from it as well, maybe.
I'm sure that's what they're developing stuff for, but to develop it, they need an injection of money, and to do that, they're releasing what they've got lying around on their shelves at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Rich cinematographers, well, I say rich, the people who this is valuable for, which is a very niche part of a niche market anyway, and they're getting just a little bit of money out of that to really get their R&D going, so that they've got this stuff coming out for next July. That's my bet.
I think they should have not had it have a recorder in it, because it only does 1080p 60, and it's not going to be as good as a oh man, what that word I can't say.
I'll say it for you. GoPro
Does it have
7.
super view? Oh, like something. Win Davis.
It's not going to have hyper smooth, is it? It's not going to have all of that business. They should have
read this out. Wayne Davis says, just to say thank you, lads, for what you do. I appreciate that, because it was really nice, and I was out on a ride tonight, and I didn't want to come home, but I come home because I'm dedicated to this LDO shit. So thank you for that.
I take it you mean a ride on his bike, because the last time.
Oh man, if I was riding a woman, I wouldn't have come home.
Anyway, been home a lot earlier,
I'm going to get a beer.
We need to light a big fireworks, surely. Who's got the fireworks?
Well, I can't light one, or I won't be breathing for the next 15 minutes. So we need to wait for either Tony or Jack to get back.
All right.
So none of you guys would have bought one if they were in stock. It was just me.
Not for that price. Are you sure they were in stock, or was it just like a holder place and says this is out of stock? So they're sort of advertising what it is, what the price is going to be.
No, they sold out within about 3 minutes. Everything, even the spare parts. And then 12th of August is when they're going to be restocked. And so I'll be considering buying one then. I'll have to get rid of I'm trying to get rid of the DJI models that are obsolete, but it's really difficult to sell them. No one wants to buy. I've got like 2 Phantom 4s, and you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to get rid of. A year ago they were 1,700 quid, and now people are like, will you take 300 for it, kind of thing. That's how it works with DJI.
Anything for our mate?
No, Jack's now back. Jack can light
something for win, please. Big one, 10 quid.
Drone Race has a good point about how good this stuff, the new DJI stuff, might be for. Oh, hold on, let me work out how to.
Hey, here's a big one. Thanks, Win. Appreciate it, mate.
how good it might be for live streaming sports events, just to have that technology.
It probably was on the technology we saw in Shenzhen.
Well, because also not only that, but there's with the 5G that's all coming out at the moment. That's got a part of that is specifically built for live streaming and broadcasting over 4G, over 5G, rather than kind of going all the way back to a server somewhere else and all the way back. So the sort of trouble that I've been trying to deal with events at like Wood Springs and Mini Air Show and that kind of thing, the 5G is going to absolutely fix that for the big guys anyway, called EMMC or something.
Well, they talk about sports events, but then legislation says you can't be within 50 meters of a living being.
It'd be for commercial operations. It'd be for the people who are actually running the event to do stuff with.
Yeah, but if you were a professional athlete, would you want a big spinning blender flying?
Well, they've been doing it for years anyway. I mean, it's been happening in the. There was that
do you not remember the Winter Olympics?
Yeah,
with the big
when
thing
one went down,
guy and nearly hitting people. Hello, Zoe's joining the chat. Zoe.
Hey, sorry, I am on the internet. Yeah, that's the Let's Run Out show, Ma. Oh, my mom's popped in here. Everybody.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. We're just shipping a bunch of unicorn frames today, so a little bit hectic. But I want to stop in and say, really good discussion going on with the new DJI goggles. I kind of think it's a little overhyped because it's DJI's second set of goggles. They had the racing edition goggles back in 2017, and that was the OcuSync, and that's been around for a while, and nobody's really been using that. So it's interesting that DJI is pushing so hard right now for it because there's a lot of money to be made in digital FPV. And that's something that they're really pushing now that they didn't push before, because they didn't really make all those sexy advertisements with the original goggles. They waited until they released these goggles that look like cyborg, FPV goggles. They look straight out of Ghost in the Shell. They look like some special ops headset that you put on and infiltrate the enemy.
Right.
I think the other goggles, though, the OcuSync ones, had considerable latency compared to these ones, and they did to the point where they had built-in analog receivers for, they were kind of a goggle for if you've got a Mavic, but you can also use them with your FPV goggle. And I think this time it's like, no, we've got the latency down to something respectable, even though 20...
so last time they weren't really trying to push digital FPV onto sort of race style quads, which it feels like they are this time. They just had a sort of a set of goggles that would work if you didn't mind carrying these massive things around.
The stuff they're doing now with dropping the frames and essentially creating pixelization around the ends of the frame versus in the center of the frame where your eyes are focused. Doing some really unique optimization that they weren't doing before. It's like
OcuSync did that, because my Mavic, I found this because this is when I discovered that this is going to be the next leap for FPV if it can happen, because I got it was actually my Phantom 4 as a HDMI module that you can buy for it, and I plugged it into some HD box goggles, and the picture was just unreal. It was and I said, if they could ever get this into FPV, then that's going to be the next big thing. However, when I got to about 200 meters away, the same thing started happening. The corners started getting blurry. The entire resolution started getting blurry. And I was like, so they've got sort of like an adaptive thing that reduces the bandwidth when you get further away, so that you maintain the latency. So I think it's just a progression of what they've been doing for a while. And
you got to remember, we've only seen the best bits. We're not seen the
no, you haven't watched.
We've not seen the European side of it, because I've heard on the grapevine that it's going to be half the channels and 700 meters. And
well, if you look on DJI's website, the UK version, it does not say that.
Okay.
And if you buy a DJI model now in the UK, I think actually there is a CE version of the Air. The Mavic Air is limited to 2 kilometers, whereas the FCC version I think is 4. But you can unlock it by just pressing a couple of buttons. So if that's the case, I imagine they wouldn't come up with different hardware.
No, what that is that they limit the amount of channels you have, and yes, it's basically the power output and the number of channels. And all you have to do is either you can get like a little application on an Android phone that says I am in the US as far as the GPS signal goes, and it says, oh, would you like to use these?
That's it.
This,
yeah.
and then you can do that way. Or you can do what I did and just happen to go to the States. And when you come back to the UK, it says, you're in a different region. Do you want to use this set of channels? You say no.
Yeah.
I'll carry on with what I've got, thanks.
Good excuse to go to the States then, eh? But Zoe, have you actually seen these things? Have you had a go after, being in the Rotor Riot sort of space,
The Rotor Riots don't play with me, like.
Oh, you're too busy selling unicorns.
It's because you're a girl.
Yeah, no, they have girls on their team, just not me. No.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, Zoe.
No, I'm actually they're friends with Drew. It's cool, but I haven't had a chance to test out the goggles. They added me weirdly enough. Like I was added to the official DJI owners group for the goggles in the system, and I was like the first one of 5 people into the group, and I don't own the goggles. Like I don't know why I was invited into it. Like I'm just like, why am I here right now?
DJI,
but I do want them.
DJI have this is where read the disclaimer out, Wayne. they have
read it out hard.
Bloods in the chat says it does in fact say that the CE only gets 4 channels.
Where does it say it though?
Don't know.
On some dodgy website that's fake news, probably.
This is what I'm worried about. We only get no one's really tested it. Has Kebab tested it? As in people turning on next to him with a 600 milliwatt on 5.8?
No, but I can. That's easy.
That's to come, isn't it?
That's easy to answer. It's the same result as when I was flying around on the same channels as BBC One and BBC Two when it was digital. It knocked the entire streets, digital TV out. So it's going to be the same. Yeah, you can't.
Apparently, it's in the small print on the DJI site.
Andy, you were about to say something controversial. What was it?
No, it's just that I've been offered to take a look at DJI stuff, but it's sort of like a contract, it's it's something. So I was like, yeah, DJI contacted me and said, would you like to check out a DJI product? And I was like, oh yeah, awesome, because I love DJI and stuff. And they're like, right, here's the contract. It's on loan for X number of days. If there's any damage to it, you're to pay for it, and it's to go back on this particular day. And I was like, wait a minute, so what? So I've got like 65,000 subscribers. What you're after is a free advert, and I get nothing at the end of it, and all you do is benefit.
No, what you get is click-ins because people want the DJI product, and you have an exclusive video on your channel of their product before other people have it.
I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the technology. If it got 3 views, I wouldn't care. It's like I want to. I'm actually interested in the thing. I'm not interested in the it's going to get this many number of views
With
kind
you,
of thing.
it's like this. It's if they've not got enough money to play with. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
break it. Or-
So I said no. I said no to some.
Good on you. Well
to-
done, Andy. I
to
like
some-
it even more now. I'm just pissed off that I'm not on your fucking batteries.
They're not my batteries.
Sorry, editor.
What are these
Swore
batteries everyone
again.
keeps going on about?
GMB.
B.
Right, GMB have got a new 6S 850 milliamp lipo for 3-inch, which I was surprised. I was like, this is never going to work. And then I tried it, and it broke the speed record for my 3-inch model, and I was like baffled by it. But
And it weighs more as well, which is a bit weird.
well, if you start to think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Do you know what? Anytime I've flown 6S, regardless of the size, I've landed and the batteries are just so hot. Sometimes you can't touch them. And this particular battery, I was ragging the hell out of it. We're doing 125-mile-per-hour runs pretty much constantly, full throttle. The thing lands, I touch it, and the lipo is stone cold, and I'm like, something's different here, you know. So yeah. Anyways, they said, do you want to check out this battery? Because I use GMB. I've been buying GMB batteries for it. I mean, GMB, because I deal a lot with micros, they're really the only lipo company that supplies these tiny batteries for micros. So I buy them, I promote them, and they're great. So, you know, they noticed that. They sent me an email. First of all, they were like, do you want to check out the 550 6S? I was like, yeah, awesome, because these new 3-inch 6S's were coming out. And then I was a bit like, 850 milliamp, that's a watt-hour equivalent of a 1275 milliamp 4S. So it'd be like putting like nearly a 1300 milliamp lipo on a 3-inch model. But you have to remember, 6S works differently. You're not drawing as much current, and therefore, if you've got a bigger capacity, then you know you've got more consistent current. There was hardly any voltage sag, and when it did sag, it recovered straight away.
Yeah, I watched the video in tears.
Why in tears? Oh, because you're yeah. But anyways, for some reason they decided to go on my Facebook and put pictures of me and Jack on the side of the lipos.
Bastard. I'm sure that shit had something to do with it.
I don't know why they did that. Oh, we lost Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe dropped out. She's hopefully coming back. So we haven't talked anything about the great name Bifrost.
What?
The Fat Shark HD system. It
was apparently been in. Yeah, it's been going for 18 months. Apparently.
Well, we don't know anything about it really. We need. I reckon Lee probably knows a lot of stuff that he can't say about it.
I think we need to get Lee on. You need to go around his house and strangle him while
we're talking. He's on holiday.
I used to have a contact at Fat Shark, and you know, we had him on the channel.
And LDO ruined it.
And then you got fired.
Do you know what? Not only ddid he get fired, he defriended me.
Welcome to Let's Roll Now.
So I reckon I'm one of the because I was like, yeah, it was a bit of a. I'm gonna swear it was a bit of a shit show, wasn't it? The HDO release.
Yeah.
Like it got leaked early, and then when it got sent out to customers, there were translucent cases that had been missed, and from a marketing perspective, it was a nightmare. So I've lost my Fat Shark contact, but I'd love to. You know, it used to be a joke. Andy RC works for Fat Shark, and I want that to come back. But sadly, I don't have any contacts. I'd love to try out that system.
Winter Blue posted a load of stuff on our Discord. If you check it out, about like 4K maximum transmission distance FCC, 4K CE.
No, it says
No,
0.7
700.
CE.
That's
Yeah.
700.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be half in Europe. It's going to be half the channels, and then only 0.7 meters. 700 meters. 700 meters. Sorry. So it's going to be not good for Europe, I don't think. But I mean, if you want to use it for racing, it'd be great. But
if it's, I mean, it is using the same channels, and it looks like it's probably not hopping a lot. It's not like a a Wi-Fi system where it's jumping around on the load, and you can fit in a load more signals in the same space.
yeah, I just hope everyone jumps on board, buys it all, so DJI can make something better next year. Because
That's it. I mean, that's the takeaway.
this is what we need. We need this to
Yeah,
happen.
we need it.
We need
We
progression
need it.
and things to happen.
'Cause
So
I'm fed up of
you'll go buy it, because I'm not going to, because it hasn't sucked me in at all. I'd rather have a low latency.
Is Tony locked up, or is it me?
I think
Everything
it's
looks up
seems
at
to
that
have
point.
locked.
I'm really, have I gone lucky?
Yeah, just as you said low latency, you had about a
It
10
was really
second.
exciting. We didn't know if you just wanted something low latency or that was
That was
Added.
his protest. 10-second latency before we get the answer.
Say it again so the editor can just cut
No.
that bit out.
I've done it now. It's done. I'm not repeating myself.
Well, you wouldn't be. You'd be saying it for the first time as far as the stream's concerned.
Oh man, why is my video game poo poo? I can't even remember what I said. I'm so drunk.
So, anyway,
I think,
Tony would prefer a low latency anything. Woman,
I think also a problem I see with this DJI system is that it's using the control system and also the video system through the same means, and they drop out at exactly the same time, and there's no RSSI warning as to when it's going to drop out. It just drops out. Whereas with Crossfire, you've got your little bars, and with analog video, you've got your snow that you can turn around on. It doesn't have any of that, so that's a potential problem. If you watch Kebab's video where he goes really far, he goes so much further than the analog can do it, but if you look at what his Crossfire bars are, they don't move at all, but it just stops all of a sudden with the DJI thing, with no sort of warning of it needs some kind of system that says I think it does actually say like low signal or something like that, but you need something a bit more than that. I think I would say.
Do we need to buy the transmitter?
no.
You don't, but if you don't buy the transmitter, then you could run out of video range before you run out.
If you're using Crossfire, I doubt you'll run out of video range.
Well, the only other problem as well is if you use your own receiver, you're not getting that saving. You still got this massive unit that's acting as both a receiver and a VTX. It's not like you can take that bit out and throw it away. So it's kind of.
But yeah, but you can have more than you can have Crossfire on another UART and completely ignore, and then just use the goggles for the information. The problem is
it would appeal to people more if you can use your Crossfire and then just
I don't think so, because Crossfire, because it's such a lower frequency, would by far outrun your video. Therefore, you'd be looking at your Crossfire thing with full bars, and then all of a sudden your video would just.
When you say outrun the video, are we talking CE videos, like on beyond 700 meters? Because if we're talking about 5-inch quads, there's not many people that would go on beyond sort of 2K, because generally speaking, you need to
It's
turn around
not.
and come
It's
back.
Wayne. It's not so much about the distance. It's the penetration through objects.
And we
No,
all love.
I
we
haven't-
all love that.
I haven't seen the kebab video. I have to watch it. I saw
I
What-
haven't
Tommy's
what-
one and the Rotor Right one, and they were doing some stuff behind some buildings, which it looked pretty impressive. And they did a big run
It's
along a road in terms of distance.
Yeah, that's rubbish. I'm not rubbish, sorry, just different. Watch Kebab, where he goes below himself, which you can't do with analog. He goes completely, and I've experienced this with DJI. Where I've got a friend that's just absolute bonkers who will take his Mavic and completely be blocked by, an entire forest and somehow still get a clear video signal with no breakup. It's that which is impressive. It's not the distance thing. I mean, to be fair, if you're wanting to do long range, analog is better because you've got clear line of sight. You've got snow, so you know when it's about to break up, and you've also got crossfire that you can use with it. So
they should have called it the Bando.
So
Well, I mean that was kind of as alluding to, because if you wanted to do 10K plus, there's all sorts of different systems for that, and you don't, generally speaking, you're up at some height not needing it.
Exactly.
But the only videos I've seen so far, I'll have to watch the Kebab one. The penetration actually looked very good. They weren't getting an ounce of any sort of pixelation or snow or anything when they were going behind buildings that was close into them. I didn't see any penetration at distance. They just did a fairly straight distance run.
Is the penetration going to be the same as in Europe, as in America?
Well, we don't. Well, according to
Probably
the
not if the range is distance.
That's what I'm.
Because they're going to that range is going to be probably determined from the power of the VTX they can.
Yeah,
put out,
which
and
is
the CE is
only going to
like
be allowed
push that
25
down.
milliwatts, isn't it?
Yeah. Or whatever weird digital equivalent that is. Yeah.
The DJI website, as it stands, gives all of the same specs as what was listed on these things. That could change.
If you look at the FAQ, apparently, Andy, that's where they talk about the differences in the CE version. Is what we're hearing in the chat.
So you got to get a friend in America to buy one for you and then ship it over to you or something. Yeah. Not spending £1,000 on something that's just gonna drop out behind a wall or something like that.
That's what I'm worried about, because have they sent it to anyone in Europe?
No, it's all.
Well, of course
American.
they haven't, because they want to show off what it can do properly in
But
FCC.
of course, with the
mode.
new rules, we're only allowed to fly
40 miles an
0.7
hour.
meters at zero thing, and we're not allowed to take off if we're in the vicinity of England.
You know, next time we meet up, can we have a fly legally day? And we're just like,
like my quad's there and
How's
take
that going to work?
and fly over there, and then
like
I
Curry Kitten brings a bit of string and they're tethered.
That'd
we should
make
tether
a
them.
really good video. That would.
Yeah.
This is how we fly, USA.
And then
Yeah.
stop all of a sudden and then have a cup of tea.
That sounds like a very good plan, and we should definitely do that soon.
We should definitely do that.
It is now time to end the show. Could you?
We were just
sign
getting
us out,
started.
Jack?
Please hit the thumbs up.
And I'd like to let you all know that there is a traitor among us, and you know who you are. Thank you, and you've been listening to Let's Drone Out. You've been joined by Andrew / Frank.
Who's the traitor?
Bye.
Who is the traitor?
You're only allowed to know the traitor if you can keep a secret.
Right.
Andy
Okay.
RC.
Bye or whatever.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
man,
He's like really fucking
Boy.
pissed off tonight.
If you cheer up, I'll put this in my Jap
He's
site
got-
and light it on the bonus podcast.
Oh, that it would definitely pay for that.
It's not sanitary.
Tonight, the person who's playing Andy RC is now called Emo RC with these hellos and goodbyes.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, he's right.
Oh, it's like
fucking
having a
tonight.
teenager on it.
Hey,
Anyway, my loving wife, Tony.
bonjour.
Everyone tune into Drone and Sundry. When I remember it's on, I always put out a little special love message to my my little duckling. Daddy FPV.
I like that. Goodbye.
And I've been Bright to Life Live. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget the
Hit the
guys
like
that are
button.
Patreons are the
Please.
best. Hit the like button. Unsubscribe to Tony and subscribe to me.
Do not
don't
do that.
No,
It's
subscribe
a
to us
race
both.
to 1,000.
I know. I'm at 900.
You
Are we-
bitch.
Are we doing a Patreon thing now, or
We gotta wait till
the 15th of
yeah.
August, we will do the Patreon live stream, and we will be going through the moments that you send in and picking out the best ones for
Shall
winning
we
the
stay
prize
chatting then?
from
Shall we
Drone
just
is
cut it
Live
off?
on the 22nd.
Should we just cut it off for
can
the
I
editor
just say
and carry on talking bollocks?
if your favourite moment was when the date of my birthday was revealed, then that won't count. I'm overriding that one, so don't even think about it.
Thanks,
It's
Owen. Thanks,
Too
Zero.
late. We're all going to Facebook message
Thanks,
you on the
Double
day as
A.
well.
You better bloody not. I turned all that off so people don't do that.
Then we can just do it in big bold fonts and stuff.
You'll forget. No one bloody remembers. That's
Jack
why.
will send a
No,
message.
send it. I'm wearing it on a t-shirt.
I'm going to say happy birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a number. We went round the sun one more time. Big bloody deal.
It's really good when you're like young, and when you're older, birthdays are bastards. Mine's coming up in 2 months.
It's not
I
even
don't
that.
know.
They don't make sense.
Thank you and good night.
Bye.
Don't forget Andy Ossie's birthday. Message me.
Turn it off.
There are more
But
days.
let's carry on.
There are more days than there are in a year.
Am I stopping the stream, or am I
Yeah,
not
please
stopping
just
the
stop it.
stream?
No,